PodcastHero.com.
Welcome to the Daily Quote, the podcast designed to kickstart your day in a positive way. I'm your host, Andrew McGivern, and this episode is brought to you by the Great News Podcast, because good news should be heard, and the link is in the show notes. Today's quote comes from Robert Frost, four-time Pulitzer Prize winner, one of the most beloved poets in American history, and a man whose personal life was marked by a degree of loss and grief that most of us will never be asked to carry. He outlived 4 of his 6 children. He watched his wife die of cancer. He committed his sister to a mental institution, and he battled depression his entire life. He wrote from inside all this difficulty, not around it, through it. And from that place, he gave us this 6-word quote, which is paraphrased from his 1914 poem, A Servant to Servants. He once wrote, "The only way out is through. No comfort, no shortcut, no promise that it won't hurt. Just the plainest, most honest truth about how human beings survive hard things. You go through them." Think about what the alternative actually looks like. Avoidance, the refusal to face what needs to be faced. It might work briefly. The grief gets pushed down, the difficult conversation gets postponed, the painful truth gets ignored, the hard season gets numbed, distracted, deferred, and for a while, the pressure eases. But avoidance doesn't end the thing. It suspends it. The grief that isn't grieved doesn't disappear, it calcifies. The conversation that isn't had doesn't resolve, it festers. The problem that isn't faced doesn't shrink, it waits and grows. And at some point, often at the worst possible moment, what was avoided comes back heavier, harder, and more demanding than it would have been if you'd gone through it when it first arrived. Frost understood this not as a philosophical position, but as a lived reality. He lost his father at 11 years old, leaving the family with almost nothing. He watched his son, Carol, die by suicide. His daughter, Marjorie, die after childbirth. His first son, Elliot, died of cholera as a child. He could not go around any of this. The only path forward was through the grief, through the depression, through the loss, through the next morning and the one after that. And he kept writing. He became one of the most highly honored American poets of the 20th century. Not in spite of what he went through, because going through it made him who he became. And sometimes it isn't a death or a major life setback that you need to get through. Sometimes it is just the work that needs to be done to achieve what you want. Seth Godin calls this process the dip. When you have a goal or a new business or a new podcast or blog or whatever it is, and you are excited at first, but then the work gets harder and the initial motivation starts to fade. This is where a lot of people quit and give up on their dream or their goal. But Seth Godin says, push through the dip, and it'll be easier on the other side. On the other side, you are stronger and a better version of yourself, and the thing you're building might gain momentum. That's not a promise that the going through it won't cost you something. It will. Going through always does. But there is something on the other side of through that staying put or quitting never reaches. You don't get that by staying put. You don't get it by trying to avoid it, only by going through. So here's the question. What are you currently trying to avoid? A tough situation, pain, loss, an identity crisis, or just getting through the hard work of building something? Because Robert Frost is not offering you easy comfort here. He's offering you something better, an honest map on how to get out. The path exists. It goes through the middle of the hard thing, not around the edges of it, and not by camping out in the hard place indefinitely. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be brave. You just have to keep moving. The only way out is through. That's it for today. I'm Andrew McGivern, signing off for now. But I'll be back tomorrow. Same pod time, same pod station, with another daily quote.